So I don't know if you've ever encountered this, but there's times when I've been talking to somebody and we're talking about who Jesus is and his teachings and his life, and people will say, well, that's really great. I really like what you have to say about him, but I think Jesus was just a good guy. I mean, he's a good moral teacher. He said some things that are really important, but I just can't accept that he's God. That's one step too far. That's just too much for me. And I was reading in 1 John chapter 4, and I think John, the apostles, experienced the same thing when he's writing this letter. He is dealing with people in his day and age that really they took Jesus and they liked him, but they couldn't accept the total package of who he was. And so they said, well, we like Jesus, but there's no way he could be fully God and fully man. There's this thing called docetic Gnosticism, if you just really need to know the long technical term for that. And there's been volumes and volumes written on that, so Google it and you should get some information on it. But they would say, yeah, he was fully God, but he couldn't be fully man. There's no way that God and man could work that out. And so we acknowledge that he was good, he had some deity to him, but there's no way he could be man. Well, so John writes and says, beloved guys, test the spirits. This is how you know what truth is. Any spirit or any teaching that comes to you that says Jesus came in the flesh and is from God, then you can trust it. Any spirit that doesn't say that is the spirit of the Antichrist or the spirit of error, and you got to beware. And so he kind of lays out a level. It says this is how you judge if things are straight or not. This is how you know what truth is. And I was thinking and reflecting on this week, and I was thinking about diet drinks. As strange as that sounds, you drink a diet drink after you're used to the regular. If you're used to regular Coke and you drink a Diet Coke, it tastes nasty. It's got this something artificial, this thing to it. But if you drink it for a while, if you get kind of weaned off of real Coke and you get onto Diet Coke, when you go back to real Coke, it's the thing that tastes funny. The diet tastes normal. The fake manufactured stuff tastes normal, and the real Coke tastes bad. And I was thinking that's somehow kind of how we deal with Jesus. Diet drinks were invented because people didn't want the sugar, they didn't want the calories or the fat of real Coke, and so they said, well, let's take some stuff out and let's add some stuff in. And I think that's kind of what we're dealing with today in Jesus. We're trying to manufacture a diet version of Jesus, but the truth is that Jesus is who he said he was, and his deity and his humanity and his life and his resurrection and his teachings all hold sway over our lives. And people look at him and say, no, that's not acceptable. That could be kind of hazardous to my health for me to give my entire life over to Jesus. And so I want to take something out and I want to add something, and I want to kind of get a watered-down diet version of Jesus where it's socially healthy, but it's not going to ruin my reputation. And John is just frustrated. You could just listen to his letter. He said, guys, don't believe this junk. This is the subtle world stuff that keeps coming in and trying to feed you this lies, trying to feed you this diet Jesus that says it's okay to take part of him and say, yeah, this is good. He's a good moral person. And then say, but he really wasn't God. John's saying, guys, get rid of that stuff. That stuff is false and it's fake, and don't buy into that. You've tasted and you've seen the real deal. You've beheld and seen that the Lord is good. I mean, earlier he says we've touched him, we've seen him, we've beheld his miracles and his wonders. And he says, church, guys, you've seen that. So don't buy into this diet thing, this fake, watered down Jesus. And so as we approach into Easter week, Passion Week or Resurrection Week, the question I'm asking is what kind of Jesus am I drinking? Am I drinking the full-fledged, this is who Jesus is and everything he is, and I'm going to conform my life to him? Or am I drinking a diet Jesus where I'm saying, well, this is good, but I don't really want this. I'm going to take this out and I'm going to add some fake stuff. And he's a good moral teacher, and I think that he's got some good things to say, but he really doesn't have sway over my entire life, just this piece and that piece and just everything. So the question, I guess, is, man, what kind of Jesus are we drinking?